Hey everyone and welcome. I'm super excited to share this guide with you guys as I promise you're about to learn some truly insane wallbang spots, some of which have never been seen before. For example, did you know this wall at U-Haul can't be shot through? That is, except for this specific area. Yeah, that's right, you can get easy kills on enemies pushing short A without them even being able to shoot back. Are enemies constantly playing up close outside of showers? No problem, this lineup gives you an easy headshot. The truck on A site can't be shot through though, right? Nope, there's a spot in heaven no one knows about. Or how about B site, where you can set up a plant for easy kills through the back wall. We spent a ton of time testing and researching the best and sometimes secret spots pro players are using to wallbang for easy kills. And definitely make sure to watch until the end because we actually discovered a completely unique glitch in Valorant that no one has ever seen before. It actually allows you to shoot through any wall in the game. Yes, you heard me right, literally any wall. It's absolutely insane, you don't want to miss it. Alright, enough hype, let's jump straight into it. Let's begin our journey in one of the most important areas on the map Bind, and that is Hookah. The attackers will always start in Market, looking towards the entrance of Hookah. It's super common for defenders to peek this for a quick kill at the start of the round and then fall back. What players don't know is that you can actually shoot through this wall on the left. So if an enemy peeks you then falls back, don't be afraid to spam this wall for an easy kill. This goes both ways though. As a defender, you can get some cheeky kills at the start of the game by shooting through the wall to tag enemies in Market. Now, we could give you a super complicated lineup, look at this brick when the sun falls in the eastern sky on a Tuesday in March, but there's actually an insanely useful mechanic built into the game that makes wallbanging so much easier. Simply open up your map. Default, it's set to the caps lock key. Then ping on the location you want to shoot at through the wall. Then close the map and you'll be able to see the ping through the wall, which will represent the opponent's feet. Aim up towards where their head would be and start spraying, and you'll get some insanely free kills at the start of the round. Speaking of Hookah, how many times have you had an opponent take the teleporter nearby and despite your best efforts to spray through the doors, you don't even damage him? Well, this is because enemies often hide in these corners. This is because you can't actually shoot through the teleporter door into the corners. This is due to the fact that in the corners, there's another wall hidden behind the door that you can't see. Don't worry, there's actually some super easy lineups that just instantly kill anyone trying to hide in these corners. If someone is hiding on the left side, then walk to the left side outside the teleporter, aim at this line in the bricks, walk up to it, and start spraying. Just like that, instant headshots for super easy kills. But what if they're hiding on the right side? Just simply walk into the corner of the wall and the boxes, aim slightly to the left, and spray, again instant headshots. When the player base catches on to these lineups, the teleporter is going to be way harder to hide inside. Alright, so you're now entering into Hookah and begin clearing angles. A very common spot for players to hold is in the left corner. This corner is actually stronger than you think, as first, you'll notice that we can barely shoot through the edge. This is with a Phantom or a Vandal, both of which have medium penetration. I'm sure many of you already know this, but guns in Valorant have 3 penetration levels: low, medium, and high. You can see what penetration level a gun has in the buy menu by hovering over the gun. Low penetration guns can only shoot through the thinnest and weakest walls, like this wall outside of Hookah, or one of the container walls in B site. Otherwise, any kind of thicker wall they simply can't shoot through, and you can actually tell this by the bullet impacts. If it sparks and only makes cracks, then it isn't going through the wall. If it leaves a dark bullet hole, then it did go through. When it comes to wallbanging, it's basically mandatory to have a medium penetration gun like the Phantom or the Vandal. Alright, back to this left corner in Hookah. Even with the highest gun penetration, we can barely shoot through it, so we can't effectively wallbang opponents hiding there. At the same time, you have to take into consideration a concept called angle advantage. Notice how in this scenario, the attacker will be peeking so much closer to the wall than the defender hiding in the corner. Being further away from a corner or wall means that you'll see the opponent first, which makes this spot pretty strong, although with no escape path, you'll likely only get a kill or two before being traded out. I just want to point this out because this is often what dictates good spots to hold. Take a look at another example in the cubby in B site. As you can see, we're not able to shoot through the corner, so you'd think it's a good spot to hold, right? Well, no, because an opponent can walk further away from it and get that angle advantage and see you first. In short, just because a wall can't be shot through doesn't mean it's a good place to hide if the opponent can get an angle advantage. Alright, back to hookah. The next spot you want to wallbang are the boxes. It's common for players to hide behind here, but it's honestly one of the worst spots to play, as you can simply aim at head level at this second wood panel and shoot for an instant kill. Another super common spot to play that's just as bad as to the right of the exit to hookah. For this lineup, just remember to always spray above the wooden frame and to the left of the carpet, and you'll get free headshots. Another thing to notice is that you can actually see the enemy's blood through the wall when you hit them. This will occur with very thin walls, so always be on the lookout for blood to appear through walls, as this will indicate that you hit someone behind it. Great, you'll now be killing opponents in hookah without even having to see them, but what if you're attacking B site from long? Well, once you get into garden, there is a very mandatory wallbang you should do every single time. Often players will hide behind this box in B site. When you're in garden, simply wallbang the top left corner of the bottom box to kill them. The reason why this is so important to do from garden is that your teammates in hookah don't have the same opportunity. There's actually a metal plate that blocks them from being able to kill the opponent fast, and instead they have to aim at the bottom of it and hit the enemy's feet, which will kill them much slower. Now, when it comes to actually entering the site, you'll find that players sometimes play in the corner close left. This is actually a way tougher spot to clear than most players realize, as you can't actually shoot them through the wall. At the same time, the attacker that is peeking is going to have the angle disadvantage, being closer to the corner, and so the defender will see them first, so just be wary of this corner. When it comes to clearing the rest of B site, it can be divided into two areas, the first of which being elbow. What most players are unaware of is that you can actually shoot through these corners at elbow, meaning that if someone is trying to hold an angle on you, simply shoot at headshot level through these corners will often net you a free kill. The second is B site itself, around the container. It's so important to realize that you can only shoot through one layer of the container at a time, regardless of how high your gun's penetration level is. This means if someone is playing all the way back in sight, it's pointless to try and wallbang him since your bullets won't go through both container walls. Alright, so the attackers have taken control of site and they go to plant the bomb in the default location in this corner on B site. Most players make the mistake of trying to spam through the wall only for no bullets to actually go through. Here's the thing, you can only shoot through the slight left edge of it. A good way to remember this is to aim for the bottom center of this K icon. Still, if we're to stand here and shoot an enemy either planting or defusing the bomb in the default position, then you'll be exposed to multiple other angles where potential enemies will exist. You can prevent this by going to an absolutely insane lineup in hookah. Simply walk against this wall, then line up the edge of these two corners. Then, aim just above the top of the couch and you'll be hitting the enemy in the default planting spot. Keep in mind though, your bullets will only do around 10 damage from this spot, so you will have to continue to spam it in order to get a kill if they're full health, but can be amazing if they've already taken some damage. Alright, next we have one of the craziest wallbangs on Bind, and likely in the entire game. You see, you can actually shoot through the back wall of B site as long as you're shooting through this indented area. This wallbang can be great for both attackers and defenders. For example, say the attackers have taken the site and are hiding behind this box. Well, you can simply go up to the spot at the indent and spam for a quick kill. In fact, this specific spot is probably the best to use. For example, let's say you're on attackers, you can actually plant in this location, then take control of halls, and when you hear the defuse, simply spam this spot to quickly kill the enemy. The reason why we think this spot is the best is because we can consistently predict the enemy will be there. However, if you try spamming elsewhere on the wall, you have to be very careful and make sure to move between your shots. This is because the enemy can actually see the bullet holes you're making, and pro tip if someone is wallbanging you, just aim for the bullet holes as it's often right at their head level, and if they haven't moved, you'll get a free kill. Alright, moving on to A site, we've noticed it's pretty common for defenders to push out from B and look for a flank on short A. Well, often the enemy leaves a player behind to watch for the flank, and especially if they've taken control of the A site, players will like to hide in this corner. Well, it's super easy to punish them for doing this, as the entire wall can actually be shot through. Moving on to A site, where short A is one of the most contested spots on the map Bind. It's very common for a defender to play in U-Haul, but they often get smoked out. Well, even though the rest of the wall can't be shot through, this piece of wood can. What you need to remember is that this tile of wood will represent furthest to the left opponents can be in short A, and this tile of wood will represent the furthest to the right opponents can be. So when you look to wallbang from U-Haul, you want to spam between these 2 points to make sure you can actually hit the enemy. Now, if you're on the attack, the way to remember what part of the wall can be shot through is to aim for the center of this icon on the wall. This represents the horizontal line that can be wallbanged. In fact, if an enemy is hiding in the corner in U-Haul, you can actually line up with the corner next to the teleporter, aim for the center of the icon, and spray to kill them. Now, when it comes to planting the spike on A site, the truck is actually one of the safest places to do it. This is because the entire truck, as well as the box next to it, can't be shot through even with the highest penetration level guns. Compare this to those boxes right next to it in A site, which can be shot through from multiple different angles, making it a huge noob trap and one of the worst places to plant. Well, when we say the trucks can't be shot through, that's not entirely true. If you're playing in Heaven, you can shoot through the front panel as long as you don't hit the panel at the very top. Keep in mind though, you can't actually shoot through the side panel to the right, it's strictly that panel on the front. Alright, I can't be the only one who absolutely hates pushing showers on attack, with so many close angles you have to check that an enemy could be hiding in. The worst is definitely on the boxes outside of showers, as there's no way to spot the opponent before exiting the doorway. Well, fret not, as there are some super easy lineups to kill opponents camping here. Simply go into the corner in showers, move slightly forward against it, and aim at this red rectangle. This will be exactly at head level and kill any enemies trying to camp on the boxes. Now, if you're already walking up in showers, there's another easy lineup. Look for these 3 rectangles that kind of form a V pattern. Aim to the left of the bottom one, and again, instant headshots. Still, sometimes players will either boost or use abilities to get to the even higher box behind it. If this is the case, then don't worry, we have again super easy lineups to deal with it. Go into this corner in showers, aim at this red rectangle for the vertical lineup, and use the dark spot to the right for the horizontal lineup. Spam there for free kills. If you're further into showers, then simply count these tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then move up just above the wood and spray. Now, there's still one super annoying spot enemies like to hide in that we haven't covered, and that's the teleporter at showers. Again, we'll run into the same problem of players hiding in corners and not being able to shoot through the walls. If they're hiding on the right side, simply move into this corner, line up with the edge, and then move slightly to the right of the center of the door. The left side is even easier, just move into this corner against the box. Aim where the shadow of the box ends, and spam for a free kill. Alright, as a thanks to all of you who have stayed until the end, we have a secret wallbang glitch no one has yet to discover. Here's how it works. When a player is looking against a wall, their hands will actually push inside the wall itself. Regardless of the wall or how much of a gap there is between you and them, if you aim for their hands, the bullets will actually damage them. This even works on their feet. For example, if someone is crouching down in a corner, their heel will push into the wall. If you aim for their feet, it will do damage and you can actually kill them. Again, this can be done on any wall in the game. Until this is patched out, be very careful about looking towards walls or crouching or standing away from them, as if the enemy knows you're there, they can simply aim for the portion of your body that's glitched into the wall to get free kills. Alright, which wallbang spot do you think is the most overpowered? Let us know in the comment section below, as we'd love to hear from you. We here at Skillcapped want to thank you for watching, and good luck, good half, and good game.